I'm coming at this fairly, not as a Swiftie. I've never been a Taylor Swift fan, not because I dislike her, just because her music isn't my thing. Some songs are fine. I've even used one or two on my content before, but she's not on my playlist. So this isn't about Taylor herself. But this whole thing about MAGA suddenly flipping the switch on Taylor after her engagement to Travis Kelce really hit home for me, because I've always wondered why people on the right are so quick to accuse Democrats or liberals or progressives or whatever of turning on someone just because of Trump. Oh, you just hate them because they're a Trumper. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I see in my comments. This very surface accusation that it's all about his name. But now I see it. You say that because that's exactly what you do. You change your opinion of someone not based on values, but on whether that person is politically useful in the moment. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, the hypocrisy. A couple months ago, Trump flat out said, I hate Taylor Swift, and mocked her looks. Now he's saying, I think Travis is a great player. I think Swift is a terrific person. I wish them a lot of luck. If he can change his opinion about a pop star that quickly, what does that say about him as a leader? Do you not see the instability? That isn't strength, that's weakness of mind. Then we've got Matt Van Swol saying her marriage is a massive net positive for society and a huge blow to the woke movement. Seriously, Matt, as if you think one pop star is the foundation of the so-called woke movement. I'm part of your so-called woke movement, and I don't really care about Taylor Swift. Plenty of us don't. Because being progressive isn't about centering our politics on celebrities. It's about justice, equity, and human dignity. If you think Taylor Swift is what defines us, that says more about how you elevate Trump than it does about us. Charlie Kirk, of course, couldn't resist turning her engagement into political fodder. The way he frames women, the way he talks about submission or imagines her giving up her last name, it's rooted in an outdated worldview that reduces women to roles, not people. That's the spin he's pushing. And again, the point is, they can't just let her be a human being. They have to make her a pawn in their politics. And look, to be fair, I've seen progressives do the same thing on the left, especially during the campaign when people kept asking, what's Taylor going to say about this? Or trying to use her influence to push politics. That's not right either. No one should be reduced to a political pawn, no matter which side is doing it. But here's the difference, and this is where the hypocrisy comes in. You tore her down until it served you to build her up. That's not just using her as a pawn, that's rewriting the whole story the second it fits your agenda. Now, on the flip side, I also think some of Taylor's own fans are asking fair questions, because for all intents and purposes, she's marrying into Trump world, and if you stand against what Trump represents, it's hard to imagine committing your life to someone tied to that. I know for me, there's no way I could ever date, much less marry someone who is MAGA. And here's the difference I want you to see. People aren't just saying, oh, I hate Taylor because she's with a Trumper. That's not it. What most of her supporters are doing is asking themselves questions. Is Taylor still holding on to her anti-MAGA beliefs? What does it mean that she's okay marrying into that world? What does it say about her values? And, I'm sure some will just flat out stop liking her, on a very surface level, but most aren't flipping for the sake of a narrative. They're wrestling with the meaning of her choices. Do you see how that's different? It's not about hating her because of a label. It's about what that label represents. And now that I think about it, maybe that's why you stand for Trump. Maybe when you say you're against the woke movement, what you're really saying is that you value racism. You value misogyny. You reject equity. You reject justice. Those are your values. So maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe this isn't just cult behavior. Maybe it's simply who you are. And if it's not a cult, then what you're saying outright is that you support that kind of behavior and you oppose everything the so-called woke movement stands for. So which is it? Because either way, you've told us exactly where you stand. So the point is, like I said, I'm not pro or anti-Taylor. She's just not my kind of music. But this whole episode is such a clear example of hypocrisy in action. It makes sense to me now why you think we change our opinions on people just because of Trump. Because that's what you do. But for us, it's not about a name. It's about morality. And what Trump stands for is a moral disaster. Yeah, that's the difference. And once you see it play out like this in real time, you just can't unsee it. All right, laters.